Okay, it says that we are live streaming. So welcome everyone. Today is Friday, which means it's our weekly Q&A day. I do want to show everyone how you can join how you can join the Zoom if you are a member. I'm also going to show you how you can join. And today I want to do something a little bit different. I was just saying right before we went live, there's so much value in the testing process. Okay, so I am wanting to implement a new way that you guys get notified for our weekly Q&A sessions, and I want to utilize the class calendar that we have inside of HighLevel. However, in order to do this, just like all of you guys, I need to build my automations. I need to test them all out, and I tested them myself. But there's really, until you launch your automations out into the world, there's really no great way to know every little part of it that's going to not work, or what the lead is seeing when they're signing up, unless you test it in the real world. Now, I could just send this blast to my email list and then kind of test it that way. But I wanted to actually use this as a great example of the testing process and kind of work through this with you guys so that you can use these same strategies when you're testing, because there's really, unless you're testing live, like a real system, there's no way to really kind of duplicate that in a training. Okay, so I want to show you guys how to get to join the meeting here. And then I'm going to go into all of that, and then we'll go ahead and take questions and all of that after that. Let me let Charles in here, and let me share my screen, and I'm going to show you, if you're a member of our program, how you can get access to the Zoom meeting. So I'm going to share my screen here. And first, you want to go to myvisionagency.com. If you are not a member of our program and you want to become a member, you can join for free, whether you are a HighLevel member or already a HighLevel member, or you are wanting to sign up for HighLevel. Okay, so you can see your options there. Even if you're on the SaaS plan, we have options for you. Okay, so if you're already a visionary member or you are a certified partner, you can click the login button and you'll go into our communities. Okay, so if you're a certified partner, to get access to the Zoom link, which, by the way, congratulations to Stacy Kennedy. She passed the proctor exam, so now she is HighLevel certified. Just since I just saw that and wanted to announce that, if you guys didn't know, if you are a certified partner or you are one of our members who are very fluent in providing services and things like that, you can go to our knowledge base, which is myvisionagency.com/help, search hire, and you will see the list of agencies that you could contact to hire. These marked with a star are certified partners, so they have passed the proctor exam. Okay, let me go back here. Okay, so congratulations to Stacy. Awesome job. So if you are a certified partner and you go into your certified partner group and you go to certified partners here, you will see that you want to click on a weekly group coaching, and you're just going to click there. You'll come right into the Zoom room. Okay, make sure you do the weekly group coaching on Fridays, because the open office hours are Monday through Thursday. So in an effort to clarify this whole thing, this is why I'm wanting to create this new system, and I want to walk you through that process and show you how I'm setting it all up. Okay, so if you are a visionary member, you can, same thing, you want to go to your learning tab here, and you want to go to Zoom support, and you're going to click on the weekly Q&A session, and when you click here, you come right into the Zoom meeting. Okay, make sure that it's the weekly Q&A and not open office hours. Okay. So before I get started, I do want to make sure, do you guys have any questions before I start talking about the class calendar and the automations and all of those things? No? Okay. Go ahead and share my screen here again. Okay. All right, so I just explained to you how it is set up right now to join Zoom. Now I'm going to show you all of the reasons why it's set up like this and why I want to change it. Okay. Now, as the admin of communities, right now, if I was to give this raw link to move you right to this module, If you're not logged in, it's just going to be a blank screen. Okay. So if I go to, and you'll see if I open up Incognito window here, you can see that this is what it shows. Okay. So there, it doesn't go right to the place that I wanted to send it to if the member is not logged in. Okay. So that has caused a lot of issues because um, there's no step where I can say, hey, make sure you're logged in, right? So what we really ideally want is to be able to just log in and go right to the thing. Now let me see. Again, this is constantly being updated, so I'm sure that that update is coming, but this is why I've had it set up like that up until this point, okay? So that has been the issue that I've had to find a workaround. So if you go to my website here, let me go into my actual website, and you go to um, my website where I talk about the training. Okay, so let's go to the events calendar here. So this is my events calendar. Okay, so if I want to make this public, which I need to, what happens is everyone clicks here and then they can go to the membership area. But again, I don't have a place to send right to the Zoom link. Now, I could send an email to all of my members to get access to the Zoom link, but then that means that I have to send two different emails, right? I have to create one and I'm sending 5 emails a week. Okay. So that is a lot of emails. So in an effort to reduce the emails and kind of streamline my processes, but also um, kind of work through the sales funnel a little bit better. Right now, if you sign up for my list anywhere, you're going to get tagged with newsletter. And then every time I do a new training, you're going to get an email. What happens is I think it's so many emails that I think that even if people are interested, that it kind of makes them like unsubscribe. So what I want to do is I want to change that to where you need to now register for those emails that we are sending every day for open office hours and the weekly Q&A sessions. And then once a week, I'm going to send a newsletter with all of the training that we've done. Okay. Now, why does this help me? Okay. Let me stop here. This helps me because a lot of people don't know how to join. Okay. It also helps me because it literally eliminates every email that I need to manually send. So if I'm saving myself time every single, even if it saves me an hour a day, that's 1 hour times 5 times 4 weeks times or 52, right? So like we're saving ourselves an enormous amount of time if we can eliminate some of these processes. Now, to even understand why this is something that I'm interested in doing, let me share with you my workflow. And I've talked to you guys about this before. This is just a Google sheet that I have embedded into my HighLevel account. It's a custom value tab. This only shows up on my account. But you can see that these are the things that I do every single day. All right. So if you have something like this where you can just make sure you're on task, right? You're going through all of these things that you do every single day. Any of these that you can eliminate because we've come up with new automations and things like that, obviously is going to save you time. So this is the part that I'm looking to eliminate by not having to send these emails anymore, but also allowing people to get signed up and get those notifications that you're going right to the Zoom link when you get the email. And I don't need to like kind of gate it. Okay. So that's what I'm really trying to eliminate is the gating issue. All right. So here is what I did. All right. Now I do want you guys to help me test this. I'm going to share this link with you. But here is the basic funnel. So let me just kind of show you what this looks like. All right. So here is my open page for everyone. All right. Now remember, only members can join the weekly Q&A session. So if I want to make this public, there has to be a way that I can only send the members the email. Okay, we don't want to send everyone the email, but we want everyone to register because if you're a member, you get the Zoom link. If you're not a member, you get the YouTube link. Okay, but we need to segment all of that out inside of our automations. So you can see here is my calendar, right? So if you wanted to sign up for the weekly Q&A sessions, you would just go through this process here, and then you would fill out the form. And then you go to the next step. So here's what I do when I'm testing. When I'm testing the calendar, first of all, when I'm doing any testing, the first thing I want to do is I want to go to Incognito window. Okay. So I'm going to go Incognito, and then I'm going to go to the schedule that I want to create. Okay, so now I'm going to say Jane Doe, and I always use Jane Doe, and then I will actually number it. So this one would be like Jane Doe 16 because I test a lot. And then for the phone number, I'm just going to say 888 7 blah 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 blah. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to type in an email, and the email is going to be a Gmail address, okay? Because if you use a Gmail address, you can use the little plus sign, and you could put something in here to help you differentiate, which I always put, like, if I'm using Jane Doe 16, I'll use Jane Doe 16 in the email address. And that way I know when I'm receiving the emails and the contacts are created, I know which test that went through. Okay, so this is Jane Doe 16. There's the email address. I'm going to go ahead and confirm here, and then I'm going to register for the weekly Q&A session. Okay, so when once this has been submitted, I'm sending them to a page. Okay, so let it go ahead and confirm. They're going to go to a page, and then it's going to have our calendar here. Okay, so thank you for registering. See our calendar below for the next live event. Don't worry, we'll send you reminders a few minutes before. And then I want to, again, this is how we can cross-promote different things. Okay, so is it beneficial if I'm live 5 days a week, and if they're not a member and they registered, is it beneficial for them to subscribe to my YouTube channel? Of course it is, right? But what's cool about this, so here's a little hack I'll share with you guys. If you put this little code, okay, I don't know if you can see up here, it is like !sub confirm. And I'll show that to you in a second, but it actually puts this thing here. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, it will prompt someone to subscribe. So if you put that little code there at the end, everywhere that you're sharing your YouTube channel, then you will, it will prompt them to subscribe. So it's really a great way. For example, if you're like at the top of your website here, you put that there, why not add that little code there to prompt them to subscribe? So I'm going to show you what that link looks like. I'm going to open copy link address. Let me get a little scratch pad here. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up and I'll show you what it looks like. So what you want to do is you want to grab your actual link, and then you just want to put this code at the bottom. So it's !sub_ confirmation equals 1. Okay, so if you're with us here in the Zoom meeting, I'm going to share that with you so that you guys can add that. It's a great way of growing your YouTube channel. You're sending people there anyway. You may as well prompt them to subscribe. Okay. So did you guys know that, by the way?
No.
No, was not aware.
Super, super cool. Okay.
Yeah,
That's totally cool.
Yeah, so cool.
Ray,
All
you
right.
got something to use.
Exactly. So, and what I want to do is I want to give them the calendar. Okay. So even though I'm going to send them reminders, I am giving them the calendar so that they can see all of our open office hours and all of that. Okay. So now we've tested all of that out. So the next thing I would need to see is, did I receive an email? Am I even supposed to receive an email? So let's talk about what happens on the back end once that has gone through. Okay, so they booked the appointment. We have a trigger here. It's going to be, and make sure if you're using the class calendar, this took me so long to test. It was so frustrating. But make sure if you're using the class calendar or any reoccurring event inside of your calendars, you're choosing reoccurring, okay? You can choose any normal or reoccurring. And even though I had it on any, it wasn't working for me. So maybe it was something else I was doing wrong. But again, this is all part of the testing. There's no single person who can go to Funnelytics and map out a whole foolproof workflow and just know every single aspect of it. Okay. So Charles asked me a good question yesterday, like, how do I get started planning my workflows? And this is literally, I just do it live. If it's really complex and I need the steps, I'll map it out overview, like on Funnelytics or something like that. But if I'm just building an automation like this, you really have to dive in here and work through the customer journey. So I just showed you there, the calendar's all good. Okay, so I've tested, I've set all of that up. So the calendar's good. And now I have the appointment status. So what's the trigger? Okay. So until you know what your trigger is, or you've decided what your trigger is, there's no way that you can know the rest of the automation. Because if you need to start this with a tag, that is completely going to change how you're setting up your system. Okay. If you're starting it with this or customer booked or, however, or maybe you don't have a tag, you're going to manually push them through. There's so many ways to trigger your automations. You really have to think, one main thing about your automations. What is that trigger going to be to move it on to the next process? Okay. So we're talking about reoccurring here, and then in the calendar, which is weekly Q&A sessions, and then this is confirmed. And remember, we talked about in the training, when you are working with your calendars, you want to make sure that you have it auto confirmed. Okay, so let's go into the calendar just to refresh your memory here. And I'm going to show you my calendar here where I have, and let me go back here just for a second because I just saw that. I want to show you. If you look in the actual calendar here, you'll see I've done some testing. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you have a meeting or a class, and you can see here that it says like I have 99 seats available and 5 people have booked. Okay, so it tells you the time. So you can see that me as the administrator, or me as the person who's hosting the class, it's really nice for me to be able to come in here, and this is all testing stuff anyway, but be able to come in here and see all of the attendees that are in the meeting. I can cancel people. I can mark no call, no show, whatever I want to say. And then I can just join the meeting there. Okay. So why is that better for me? Again, because I don't have to like go to Zoom and then get logged in and all of that. And if I change the link, then I need to I don't have to do all of that. I can just be still working in my HighLevel account like I do every day. And I just click that button to join the meeting and I'm good to go. Okay. So if you have lots of meetings, that's super cool. So inside of the calendars, if I go to the back end of this weekly calendar, you'll see there's my picture there. See weekly Q&A sessions. We have a slug there. You have your Zoom link. Now, with class calendars, you need to have a custom link, okay, for that specific class. So what you'd have to do, because we can't create a class in Zoom. So what you have to do is go create a reoccurring Zoom event or a meeting inside of Zoom. And then you need to grab the link from that meeting and you can paste it here into your class. And then that's going to be the link for that class. Okay. So you can have your availability here and you'll see this class is every Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Okay. It's reoccurring and you'll see here 24 times. This is really important to take note of this because if you're in the testing process like I am and you do a booking test, especially if you have this connected to Google, what happens is you get 24 emails with all of the dates of the class. Okay. So that's obviously not what we want. So that's why I thought it was important to walk through this with you guys and show you how you can eliminate them from getting 24 emails with all of the dates for all of the next 24 classes. Okay. Now you see here, if slots are unavailable, what do we want to do? We're just going to say confirmed. Typically your classes, you're going to know, and this really just depends on your structure. Sorry. How you want to handle this, but for my case, it just makes sense to continue booking because we only have the 1 hour a week. And then you need to choose at least a meeting interval of 5 minutes. And then how long is your meeting? Do you want a minimum scheduling notice? So what this is, how much time before the meeting can they schedule? So what we want to do is just say 0 days, right? So even if the email goes out 15 minutes before the meeting, so they would technically, using this class schedule, you would need to be registered at least 16 minutes before the next class to get access to the link. Okay. So just keep that in mind when you're building out your workflows. So, no minimum notice. We're not going to worry about a date range because it's just a reoccurring class. How many seats per class do you want to add? Pre-buffer time, post-buffer time. Okay. Did you have a question? Okay. And then, of course, the next thing is here. What do we want to do once they fill this out? Now, you guys, we can do so many advanced things, but if you're building out really advanced automations, you want to just start simple. Get the process good, make sure the actual process is working and your workflows, and then you can build on like a maniac. There's so many really super cool things that you can do. But this is just we want to get the foundation of our system working, and then we can build out and do all those cool things. So what we want to do is we just want to have the basic form here. We're going to pre-populate sticky contacts, make sure they consent because we are going to be sending text messages, and then redirect the URL. Where do we want them to go once they have registered? So you can see here, that is the page that I just showed you, where once they've registered, they go to that page where it has the calendar. But you can see how I've set it up so far. There's no Zoom link. No one has access to the Zoom link yet. We want to make sure they go through a filter to ensure that they are a member. Okay. So again, keep these processes in mind when we're working through the workflow, because I want to make sure that you understand why I'm doing these things so that when you go to build your own, you can know, okay, am I doing this like her? Do I have a different use case? But you'll understand why I'm doing it this way. Okay. So I'm redirecting to that page there. And then I'm auto confirming. Okay. This is an important part when we talk about our automations. Let me go wherever my, okay. Auto confirming. Okay. So to trigger this workflow, it needs to be this specific criteria. So if it's unconfirmed, if we don't check that box to auto confirm, then it is not going to trigger this workflow. Okay, it needs to be confirmed. So let me okay. Let me get back here. Okay, so it needs to be confirmed. Next, we have the notifications. I like to do my notifications in the workflow. And in reality, this workflow, there is no notification that's going to be sent via email. They're just registering, and then they can see the events calendar. And then before the event, we will send the Zoom link. Okay. And the reason is, and again, this is why I want to tell you the structure and why I'm doing this. The reason is because what if someone signs up and they become a member and they get access to 24 different meetings, okay? Because there's 24 occurrences. Well, what if, the next week they cancel their membership and they're no longer a member? We don't want them to be able to continue using that, being able to join us for the weekly Q&As, right? It's part of the membership. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that every single week it's going through a filter and it's saying, okay, this week, is this person a member? If they are, they're going to get the Zoom link. If they're not, they're going to get the YouTube link. Okay. And then they're also going to get information about how to join if they want to join. Okay. So we're going to turn this Google off because I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or if it's just the way that it's set up. But every time I was testing this, when I had this toggled on, it was bypassing my wait step, and Google was because the high level workflows, it will stop my workflow. But because I had it connected to Google was sending 24 invitations for each of the events of the class. Okay, so again, we don't want that. So if you guys figure this part out, if it's something that I'm not doing correctly, definitely let me know. But I'm bypassing that for now, and I'm not going to use Google. Okay, just so you know, again, how and why I'm doing this. All right, so we also have the ability to allow to reschedule or cancel. However, there's really no point in rescheduling. We can leave on cancel because maybe they do want to cancel. They canceled their membership, somehow they fell through the filter and whatever. We could allow them to cancel, but there's no reason to really reschedule because it's a class, right? So they can't reschedule the class and they just don't join. Okay. So then we have the customization. So really, this is just how do you want your calendar to look? You can add your own brand colors and all of that stuff. And then you can even preview that here. If you want to show the slots available to maybe increase some, fear of missing out, then you could do that. I chose not to. I don't really care if that shows. Okay. So now let's talk about the back end. That's the calendar part. Okay. So here's the back end. We have our reoccurring. We have the weekly Q&A sessions. We have confirmed. Now we're adding a tag. And you guys know I'm always saying if you have tags or if you don't even understand tags at all, just use them and you will thank me later. I think Charles just did that and I hear all of you guys doing that. You told me to create the tags in the beginning. I had no idea why, but now I'm so thankful that I did. So just create a tag to let you know, like this workflow, this person went through the workflow. Here is the important part. Okay. Now, as soon as, and let me stop here because I do see Manolo. Do you have a question?
Yeah, it was about the 24 emails. Why was it 24? I mean, I
Because when you're signing up for the class, it's what you're signing up for. There's 24 occurrences of that class. Okay. Now, I hope in the future, and I'm sure in the future they will create something that says indefinite. So, like, there's no, but even Zoom has where they limit the
uh,
occurrences. It's really good to do that anyway. You really only want, because every time you like update that event in Zoom, you get a new link, and it's kind of a good way of auditing because if you have this like Zoom link that's for members only, you do want to change that because that can get shared around and then, you have an issue. And so it's really good to keep those things updated and switch it up a little bit anyway. Cool. Okay. Let me share my screen here. All right. So here is the important part. This is what is going to make them only get one email at a time. Okay. This is the magic part that I was so frustrated trying to figure out this. And it was like, honestly, it was so easy, but oftentimes, like we all do, I overcomplicated it. So all you need to do is create a wait step here. And you want to say before you have all these options here, but we're going to choose the event appointment start time because remember, they're scheduling an appointment, okay, for a class. It's still an appointment. So before the start time, 15 minutes is what we're saying. We want to wait, right? So you see here, when we enter in like all of these leads and all of these class times, you can see in the enrollment history, let me show you this too. So we have Jane Doe, 16, that we just entered in. Okay, you see Jane Doe, I mean, she's got 24 occurrences here. If I didn't put that wait step, Jane Doe would have received 24 emails and they would all have the date you could see here, the date of the meeting and the time. Okay, so like May 24th, May 31st, June 7th. So she would get all of these emails. We don't want Jane Doe to get that many emails from us. We want to wait and then receive the emails 15 minutes before that specific meeting. Okay, so we're going to add that wait step and we're going to say 15 minutes before. All right, now when it's 15 minutes before that appointment time, there's only one appointment, right? Even though there's 24 Jane Doe 16s in here, they're for different appointment times. They're for every Friday for the next 24 Fridays. Okay. So 15 minutes before each appointment time, we're going to put them through a filter. Okay. So that filter is going to be, can they join the Zoom meeting? Okay. So that's my question. I like to put it up here so that makes my workflows easy to understand. Now, I have two criteria that allow you access to our weekly Zoom meetings. Okay. You need to be a My Vision Agency member. Okay. You need to be a visionary, which all of you guys are, or you need to be a certified partner or signed up for the HighLevel certification program using my affiliate link. Okay. So if you meet one of those criteria, you have these tags inside my system. Okay. Now, if you don't have that, that means you don't have access to the weekly Q&A session. So I'm saying when the lead gets through here, because remember, everybody can register. Okay. We want to leave that open so we don't have to lock it down. But the way that we can lock it down is by sending them through this filter. So do they meet this criteria? If they do, then the answer is going to be yes. They're going to go through this workflow. If they do not meet this criteria, then the answer is going to be no, and then they're going to go through this workflow. Okay. So now, if they're a member, meaning they had those tags, they're going to get this email and it's going to say, grab your seat, our session is starting. And then it's going to say today at, and then here is the Zoom link. Now, if you really want to get good, you can set trigger links. Okay. You can set trigger links for the workflow. That way, when they click that trigger link, you can have a whole separate automation that will, and you guys, I used to have this set up for like the open office hours. You log into the Q&A, and then I can send you guys, like everyone who's joined us, I could send you something after the meeting, and I would know specifically the people who joined because of that trigger link. Okay. So many cool things. Now, I don't have the automation set up for the trigger link yet. We don't have to get that advanced when we're doing like the soft launch, like we're testing out with you guys. But that is definitely, just know that's something that you can do in the future. Okay. So can't make it, you can watch the replay on YouTube and click here. And again, I have my trigger link that has my confirmation code to make sure that I'm encouraging them to subscribe. Now, if they're not a member, they can't join the Zoom meeting, okay? But they can join us on Zoom. So I'm sending them the link to join, and then I'm also giving them information about how they can join if they're interested, because obviously they're interested in something that we're doing because they registered for the weekly Q&A, okay? But doing this allows only the people who are interested in those reminders to register for that, and then it also eliminates a lot of the emails that maybe other people don't really want to get, okay? So this is really the entire process. All right. Now, once this has been tested and I've worked through all of this and I'm sure that it's good, then of course I'm going to come back here. I'm going to like make these emails pretty. I'm going to change these up to be templates. We'll have nice, cool buttons and beautiful images and all of those awesome things. Now, the thing is, though, we're live 5 days a week, and I still want to send my list the all of our training, right? I still want to send my list all of that. So what I'm going to do, and I have training on this, you can go to my YouTube channel and look up the RSS feed training. But that is what I'm going to do, set up the RSS feed so that every week, all of the training that we've done all week will be sent in one email on Friday so that you guys have all weekend to check it out if you've missed any of them. So if you've followed along here, what I've completely done is eliminate all of those daily emails, and I have automated the newsletter process. Cool? You guys, this is like, I always tell you.
But I was okay with the emails. But it's cool. It's cool. I mean, the advanced technology that you show is awesome. And it's nice to know that we could do these things and that you have the knowledge, because right now I couldn't do it. If I was to do it, I know who to get in touch with. But wow, I was okay with the emails, but it's saving you time. Great. We will sign up.
Yeah, that's really what we want to do. It's like if we can give ourselves some time and we can make our customer or member experience better, it's like a no-brainer. Of course, we want to do that. Now, as an affiliate, the super cool bonus is now I have a new use case, and I have a way of really diving deep into the tools so that I can see all of those, like those, how you get 14 or 24 emails right away. If I'm not doing those things to teach you guys, and if I'm not doing them ahead of time and actually using them, then I don't really have real world knowledge of how the tools work. So I'm not really providing you guys the value, because I need to be working through that myself with my own business too. So I do want to, I'm going to go ahead and get your question here. So question 2, but I do want to share with you guys this link, if you wouldn't mind helping me test this out until you hear from me. Otherwise, you don't have to worry about like signing up and doing this, because I want to work through this process. But I do want to give you this page if you wouldn't mind helping me test. And here's what I want you to do. Take this page and put in your My Vision Agency account email address and register for the class or the weekly emails, and then put in a email that is not that. Make sure it's real. But put in one that's not. That way we can see if you're getting like the correct emails. Okay. And then next Friday, we'll talk about that, what you guys got. I just shared that link. That's not the live link. So like I said, don't freak out. And how do we get access? Just you'll continue next week, and then we'll see how it goes this week, and then we'll revisit it. And if everybody is like, yes, that was so helpful, that's the feedback I want. But at the very least, we've tested out this process so we can be masters with the class calendars. Sebastian, how are you?
Hey, good. I'm not sure if I missed it, but where does the Zoom link get changed each time for so like every meeting is a different link, right? Where is that changed? Is that automatically or is that you manually put in the new link?
Meetings in general or our meetings for the weekly Q&A?
So this weekly meetings, so for example, like it's 24 meetings, right? So somebody at the second meeting, they cancel their account, so they shouldn't join the meetings anymore, but they already have the link. So those links change every week, right?
Yeah.
I think I missed where it changes.
So there's with the class calendars, you can't change the link. And that's what I was talking about with Manolo about it's good to update your Zoom link anyway. So while we certainly cannot, at least at this point with the setup, we certainly cannot go back to the email. And you could change it every week if you wanted to. You could create a trigger link. Let me show you how to do that actually, because that's the next phase of what I'm working on.
Because I get every week I wanna check who left, and I don't want to send that person that.
But wouldn't the if else condition that you're putting in place that checks to see if a person has the tag, and that goes back to, if I understood you correctly, Bridget, about why we love tags so much, but that they have to go through that each and every week. And so if they're not a member, if they unsubscribe or cancel their membership, you might have another workflow that removes that tag. So then when they
But what
Right, but
Sebastian,
if they have the link from last week, then they can use the same link.
Oh,
So
I
you
see what
have
you're
to
saying. I see
change
what
the
you're
link
saying.
each
I see what
week.
you're saying. I see what you're saying.
so here's what you want to do. Okay. So remember when I said that about trigger links?
Yeah.
If you're using, of course, you could use custom values, but there would be two places if you wanted to change that in Zoom. Because remember, like that class is only booked through HighLevel. It's separate from Zoom, okay? So you could technically create a new link for your class every single week, and then you would just need to update the workflows. That sounds like a giant pain, but there are two ways that you can do that to ensure that everything is updated. So let me show you, okay? So you can go to, here, you wanna go to, let me stop sharing so I can actually get there. You wanna create a trigger link. All right. Now that trigger link is going to be, that's what I was saying, you can tie that to automations. But something else that I love about trigger links is that you can also update them. Sorry, let me go into a demo account. I don't want to show all my, but the purpose of a trigger link is kind of, you can use it a little bit like a custom value. So let me show you here. Let's say that you wanted to do that. You wanted to add to your class, you wanted to add a new Zoom link every single time, okay? What you would need to do is just create that Zoom link inside of, create that event inside of Zoom. And then you would want to come in here and you could add a trigger link called Zoom link, okay? And then you could just put it here like zoom.com, all right? Let's say that's our trigger link. Now, when we go into our automations, and we want to send an email, let me go to like booking, let me go to showed, and we are in the email and we wanted to add that when that email got sent out, we would just go to here and go to, where's my trigger links? Go to,
It's the one beside it.
So we do link, we can do this. There's a couple ways of doing it. And then so you wait. Yeah, here we go. So Zoom link. So this trigger link, what that does, okay, it not only works like a custom value. So when you paste that new link inside the trigger link section, it's going to update everywhere that this code is at. Okay. So it, like I said, it kind of works like a custom value, but also it will track all of this. You can create a whole automation based on all the people who clicked on this trigger link. Okay. And it's tied this code and not to the value that's inside of it. Okay, so that would be the place that you would need to update that if you wanted to do that. And there's one other place that you would need to update that. Let me go into the calendar section. And I'm sure in the future, this is going to be an easier way of doing this.
Because we have a weekly meeting with 150 users, and we right before the meeting we manually have to check each person to admit it into the Zoom. It's just manual pain in the ass.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I think this is
you would just update the trigger link, and then you would update the calendar here. So you wouldn't do this right before the meeting, right? You would be like, okay,
yeah, just have it ready. Yeah.
Immediately create the next event, add the next event link in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. But I'm sure that it'll be more, eventually it'll be more like the round robin calendar where it is tied to Zoom and just automatically, recreates that.
You mentioned when you were talking about clicking on trigger links that you could do an automation based off of that. And I was thinking about what you were talking about after like the meeting and sending out information. How do you do that? Because you might have different people on this Friday's meeting versus next Friday meeting. Like, how do you segment? Does it have to be a different trigger link for each of those meetings, or?
So if you set it like the trigger link, it's going to be every time that trigger link is clicked. So let's say that a great use case for it is with open office hours. If you're not a member, what happens is you sign up and then you can join the meeting. Okay. Now, to join the meeting and get access to the meeting, you have to click our trigger link, which takes you to the Zoom. Okay. Now, when you click that, there's a wait step there, and then you go through a filter. All right. So if you join the open office hours and you're a member and you went through that form, okay, most of you guys go through the membership area, but if you went through that form, it would filter at that point. So like 45 minutes after that link was clicked, there's that wait time, and then it goes through the filter. If you're a member, you get this set of resources. If you're not a member, you get this set of resources. So everyone who clicks that every single time is going to get those emails or go through that filter. Make sense? Manolo?
Just to make sure we do everything correctly, and you asked us to help you with that. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, this is where I got to with the link that you just gave us. And here I'm supposed to either log in.
No, scroll down and register.
Where's the register?
Yeah, so this is one of the things.
11 a.m.
Yeah, you have to click the date and 11 a.m. right there. Yeah. So
okay, that's what I was missing.
I wanted to see though, and I'm glad you showed me, because on the previous screen where you see how it says America, Los Angeles, that's really important. This is what I was talking about earlier in the week about when you're setting up your calendars and your profile, you want to make sure that your time zone is in there, because if we are meeting at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I know you guys know if you've ever tried to book meetings without an actual calendar with people all over the world, it's like, okay, we're meeting at like 23 hours from now. It's like, it's so crazy. But if you have all of the time zones set up correctly, then your lead can see, like, if it's 11 a.m. for Manolo and it's 2 p.m. for me, obviously that's a huge time difference, and make sure that's correct. And all the reminders are getting set down at the right time. Cool. Do you guys have any other questions about this or anything else? Sebastian?
Yeah, this one is something completely separate, different. So we have a potential customer, talking with them right now, walking through the system. I'm trying to come up with how to organize the account. So we have a SaaS, right? But they are going to be like a mothership account, and then they have like about 1,000 users, which each user will have a sub account. So how do we add them under us, or do they need like their own separate SaaS account? I'm trying to figure out how to structure that deal.
So the best thing would be for them to have their own HighLevel account. I mean, I say the best thing. Okay. When I say the best thing, because that's going to be a lot of work. And it's like HighLevel's not really set up like that because it's set up for that type of client to have their own account because because obvious reasons, right?
Okay.
So if you don't do that though, what you'll have to do is they will have to be an like an admin of all of those accounts. So you'll have to make sure that each of those account, and I think that would be a manual process. I'd have to work through it, but it would be like every time you have a new sub account that signs up under them, you would have to go in there manually and add them to that account so that they had access.
Because we're gonna add them all up because they're like basically employees. So I wonder if we purchase like a separate SaaS and make it for them, but we have the control of it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay.
Because honestly, I know. Honestly, if you think about really what would be best for them, it totally would. Because what if, like, let's say that 2 years from now, you're like, man, I'm ready to retire. Like this business is balling out. I'm retiring. Now you have now granted, that's great if you wanted to resell it. Lots of people are making massive, massive moves, reselling their HighLevel account. But it's kind of like that transition is so easy for you at that point because you're not responsible for all these accounts. They have their own, everything's under their brand, the billing, all of that stuff is handled by HighLevel.
Yeah, that
So
was kind of the thing because we were trying to position our brand for that, but if we go this other route, then our brand is not going to be there.
it could still be your brand if you position it as like a kind of like I do, where it's like I am a program. I have a program that helps you, and we use HighLevel. I think the only reason that this is complicated is because HighLevel allows you to white label. Because before HighLevel, when we were all using ClickFunnels and Builderall and everything else, it was just
Yeah,
or
you can do that. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like I think now we're just like, wait a minute, but we can white label. Let's do this different. But if you really want the process to be more hands off, it's kind of a no-brainer to do
Okay.
level brand.
Thank you.
Here's something though, Sebastian, that we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but my brain just exploded. Here's something that a lot of people are doing. They are creating that secondary SaaS, okay? And then they are saying, we're going to get you all set up on this. And it's like our partner, right? So like it's our partner company that we're going to get you set up on this. So you can create the subscription and you can do everything under that brand. But it's their own brand and it's their own business in there, but it's still you getting things set up.
Yeah, and this is like Sean mentioned that they were actually working on this, like to make it where the SaaS can have like a sub SaaS.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know when that's coming out. So
Yeah. Yeah. I tried that in the beginning too, because I thought, well, that's really great because you can allow people to have sub accounts. And I like resell sub accounts because there's lots of use cases for that. But that's why I stopped doing it because I only had 2 people when they signed up for the sub account and I saw kind of the hassle that I had to
yeah,
go through and their lack of control and like just a lot of hands-on things that I had to do. That was only 2. So if you had 1,000, you would probably be
go
losing your mind.
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Terry?
Quick question on something else. Dealing with Boomerangme, um, do they have a white white label support like Play? I was trying to look for that. You know how
Don't,
Play has the knowledge where you could
yeah.
go and it's all unbranded?
Yeah, I don't think that Boomerangme does.
Okay.
Man, really, I'm impressed with Play. They are just like, I mean, I signed up with them. I don't even think it's been a year yet, and they are just like blowing the market away with all of their new stuff. Have you guys checked it out lately?
Oh yeah, I'm really dialed into that with my boomerang system. So yeah. I'm loving it because I'm positioning it now from an acquisition and a retention,
Hmm.
which every business needs,
Yeah.
right? And that's where I'm going at. And I keep everything so simple.
Mhm.
Just got two more clients looking at that. So I'm doing both. I'm putting that together with the whole system with the what you shared a couple weeks ago with the online ordering. So I start off with that, which we talked about, and now it's starting to manifest. So I just had to go through that process with dialing in my white label with the boomerang cards and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so exciting. There's like so many opportunities. It's hard to know a
But I
direct.
was just looking from a customer support because they got that little eye up in there. And when you click on it, that takes you to their knowledge for Boomerang. So then
Mhm.
I'm like, if I'm selling this under my brand, like what the gentleman was talking about, I don't want them to see Boomerang. Hey, so I want them to be under. So now I'm like, okay, I gotta go and recreate that some
I'm
dial.
sure Boomerangme, they have a really good setup. I can't remember right now, but I think they have something like that. I can't remember. I know they have the whole setup with the website and all of that. Are you
Yeah.
using that? Is that
Yep.
oh my gosh,
Yep.
that takes like 5 minutes to get set up and you have like a whole website and everything.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, ask them about that though, because something makes me think that they have that, but I can't really point to there and
Yep.
tell you. I am entering all the names right now for our wheel here. Can't forget. Let's see. Miss Maria, and we have Ray, and okay, I'm going to call all of your names here. We're going to spin the wheel for all of you who are new. If you are a member, to have your name on the wheel, you do need to be in the Zoom meeting. Okay, so make sure to join the Zoom meetings if you want a chance to win. But everyone has the opportunity to win a free 30-minute private consultation with me, or you will receive 2 reseller licenses. The choice is yours. So I'm going to find which window has my Zoom meeting in here. And I want to make sure that I have entered everyone's name. So if I do not call your name, let me know. We have Ray, Sebastian. Oops, I put Ray in twice. He already wins too much. Let's see.
It's
All right, we
okay.
have
You can leave.
we have Ray, Sebastian, Terry, Charles, Frankie, Manny, and Maria. Did I forget anyone?
Should be 7.
Okay, that is 7. All right, so let me share my screen here. And let's spin the wheel.
Hurry up.
Get out of here.
Maria, I was pulling for you.
Oh man.
Okay.
So weird.
I will
Bridget, you
forfeit
blew
my
on that
turn.
wheel. I saw Bridget blow on the wheel.
Yeah.
I'll get you, Bridget, and your little Tesla too.
I was pulling for you, Maria.
I
Tell you
know.
what, I will forfeit
Okay.
my entry next week. I will not join next week, and we'll see. I won 2 in a row and 3 in 4 weeks, and so don't know what it is, but lucky.
Hey, but Ray, just take the blessings when they come.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't feel bad for winning.
I would prefer a consultation with you.
Okay.
You are a jewel.
Well, that's why you keep winning. See, you guys follow along. See, Ray compliments me and showers me with praise. And so Ray just keeps winning. Notice the trend?
Thank you.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, Ray, I'll send you the link to book your meeting, and I will see you all Monday. Same time, same place. Go make your vision a reality.